Once below the surface of a still puddle. Did I behold reflections of looking back at me, the eyes of my body? So I jumped in, back into my skin, and sang this song of where I've been. Once I was a big drop of water. I swear I became bottom-man in the land. Saw you turn when I turned away. You were still water. We're still water. We're still water.
Wow, thank you, David and Gretchen and Jesse. And welcome and good morning to you all. My name is Gwen Hughes Severance. My pronouns are she and her, and I will be your worship associate this morning. So welcome to you all who are here in the sanctuary, and welcome to you who are joined with us remotely by Zoom or YouTube. We welcome all ages to this space and know that there is a place in the back with activities and comfortable seating. The sounds of young people are appreciated as the voices of the future. Please know that the first pews on this side of the sanctuary are set aside for those wearing masks. You are, of course, welcome and invited to wear a mask anywhere in the sanctuary, but it's required if you sit there. Today is our multi-generational water communion service, the service with which Unitarian Universalists begin each congregational year. And today is even more special, beginning with the child dedication ceremony. Lots of announcements, please bear with me. Let's see, we start here with, if you are visiting us for the first time today, or perhaps new enough to USNH that you have questions about Unitarian Universalism and our congregation, please grab a cup of coffee or tea and join us at the welcome table right after the service. And please stay after the service today for the walking taco lunch in the social hall through the double doors at the back of the sanctuary. LGBTQ and Allies, Family and Friends Task Force and Welcoming Group meets today at 12 noon in room 208. Next Sunday, all are invited to the All Ages U Olympic Games, featuring food, gentle movement games, that's kind of my game, gentle movement games, arts and crafts, a magic show, and above all else, a terrific chance to be together in community. The U Olympics will start at 11:30 after the service and run until 1 p.m. All right, I think I've done that page. Each Sunday, we lift up the spiritual value of generosity by asking for your offering for the ministries of this congregation. You can go to our website, usnh.org, and donate online, or you can mail your donation to our address, 700 Hartford Turnpike in Hamden, Connecticut, 06517. And if you're here in person, you can place a donation in the offering plate held by the ushers at the back of the sanctuary at the end of the service. Thank you for your generosity. We hold space during our service to remember that amongst us there are always some people experiencing difficulty, as well as others celebrating some special happiness. We hold it all in a community of caring, knowing that these joys and sorrows of which we are made aware are only a fraction of our collective experience. There's a joy here with Ellen and David Bates Jeffries. They're excited to share the expected arrival of a baby in early January. Marion and Bertie are also excited to share the news of their expected little sister, and will gladly introduce you upon her arrival. Another joy is that Evie Lissa has her lost cat has come home. All right. There is a card for Jane Platt next to the book for Joys and Sorrows in the lobby, and you're all invited to sign that for Jane. And we note especially those times of mixed sorrows and joy in the memorial celebrations of two of our members of our congregation, Bruce Weston's memorial service on Friday, and yesterday Annie Clark at Trinity Church on the Green. Please turn your devices to worship mode as we move now to the service. Our ministerial intern, Sunny Joy McMillan, will call us to worship as our chalice is lit by Manya, Lissa, and Evie. So.
Good morning. I'm Sunny, the ministerial intern here at USNH. My pronouns are she and her. I call us to worship today, and we light the chalice with some anonymous words from the Gray Hymnal. Spirit of the East, be with us always. Spirit of the South, be with us always. Spirit of the West, be with us always. Spirit of the North, be with us always. Blessed be.
Thank you for lighting the chalice, Evie and Ren and Manya. Covenant lies at the center of how Unitarian Universalists gather in community. We are united not by a particular set of beliefs, but by the promises we make about how we will be together, how we will treat each other, and how we will seek to mend relationships when we fall short of our aspirations. Each week, we recite together a brief version of our covenant. I encourage you all to read the full covenant on our website. Now, the following words express our intentions in writing, but our true covenant lives and breathes in our actions. Will you please join me now in reciting the words that appear in your order of service or in the chat on the live stream. We covenant together to create and nurture a culture of respect and kindness, and to engage in the spiritual and everyday practice of loving more generously. To this end, we will strive to be open, to value differences, to listen deeply, to use kind language, to speak our truths, to work with conflict, and to seek humor and joy. And now would you please rise in body or spirit and sing hymn number 108, My Life Flows On in Endless Song. As Deadpool once said, and now the moment I've all been waiting for. Into this community, this house, people have come for generations to mark the passages of their lives and to find resources for living. Here, lives have begun, have matured, and even ended. Today, we celebrate young lives that are just in their beginning stages. We gather today to partake in a rite as old as the human community itself. From the gifts of their individual lives, parents among us here today, united in love, have embraced new life. Now they bring us their children to celebrate them, to dedicate themselves to them, and to take their rightful place in their family and the wider community of which they are now a part.
I invite forward the Chapin family, the Pincus Kirker Stewart family, and the Bates Jeffries families all to come forward. And some of you I know have some relatives and happy aunts, uncles, godparents, and you may come forward as well. So, please come forward. Today we gather to confirm these children's names. Hi, Bowie. Hi. In this act, we declare that they are individuals, unique people, with a dignity and worth all their own. Children come from us, but they are not ours. They belong to themselves. In confirming their names, we promise that we will respect their uniqueness, give them the freedom to be themselves. And so, therefore, I turn to this great cloud of witnesses. Please, parents, please offer your children's names to all.
Charlie, Ellie, Robert Lathan,
Marion Weaver.
Bowie,
Thank you. Charlie, Ellie, Bowie, Marion, and Robert, you are the children of the universe. You are a blessing. You have come with stardust in your hair, the rush of planets in your blood, your hearts beating out the seasons of eternity, with the shining in your eyes like the sunlight. Your parents have brought you to be dedicated, to celebrate the joy that they have that you are part of their family, and count themselves blessed. In this congregation, you will learn to count the number of your days and weigh their meaning, to gather into your mind the wisdom of the great ancestors, to know why we call one thing right and the other wrong, to nurture compassion and love to the deepest places of your being.
And that awkward moment where you have to talk to people before you and behind you as well. We gather here today to confirm these children's place in the wider spheres which hold them dear. We affirm the central commitment that their parents and families make to nurture the fulfillment of their personality. We affirm the supportive commitment a surrounding community of faith can make to envelop them in an atmosphere of tender love and gentle guidance. A child grows in proportion to her faith, faith in herself, faith in her particular heritage, faith in the story of all humankind, and faith in the vast universe as her home. We gather to affirm the possibilities of and our responsibilities for nurturing this growth in faith.
And now to the parents, I ask you together as shared parents in this moment as you stand with your children. Will you help these young people to realize the best that is in them? And will you seek to the best of your ability to instruct them by your teaching and by your example? And will you love them always with an unselfish love? And together, please, as parents, reply, we will. Well, I'm gonna hold you to this. Jesse?
And now will the children, any children or teenagers in the congregation, please rise in body or spirit, including those who are in the back? And if I could just have your attention up here for one moment. This is an important part of our affirmation here. These children behind me will join you in the fun and the work of our communal life. They will be the youngest among you. They will need your help. They will deserve your respect. Will you make a place for them and show them our ways? Will you help them to be the best person they can be? If you will, children gathered here today, will you please say together, we will? All right. And now, would the adult congregation please rise in body or spirit? We are also an enormously important part of these children's world. People who will help guide and shape their lives. If you, with me, are willing to pledge to give of yourselves in ways that will help them grow, if you will take upon yourself the privilege and the responsibility for helping to nurture the character and spirit of these children, will you please now join me in saying, we will? We will.
Now we will dedicate each child individually. Charlie, can we start with you? Okay, all right. Charlie, I dedicate you to the service of truth, compassion, and love, and I touch you with this water on your forehead, a symbol of purity, and with this flower, and this is your flower, a symbol of your unfolding life on your brow, your lips, and your hands, that your thoughts and your speech and your deeds will be dedicated to the service of humanity. And Ellie, I dedicate you to the service of truth, compassion, and love. And therefore I touch you on your forehead with this water, the symbol of purity, and with this flower, a symbol of your unfolding life, on your brow, your lips, and hands, that your thoughts and your speech and deeds may be dedicated to the service of humanity. And Marion, I dedicate you to the service of truth, compassion, and love. And Marion, I touch your forehead with water, the symbol of purity, and with this flower, isn't that pretty? The symbol of your unfolding life upon your brow, lips, and hands, that your thoughts and speech and deeds may be dedicated to the service of humanity. Robert, I dedicate you to the service of truth, compassion, and love, and I touch you with this water on your forehead, the symbol of purity, and with this flower, the symbol of your unfolding life on your brow and lips and hands, that your thoughts, speech, and deeds may be dedicated to the service of humanity. And last and most certainly not least, my buddy, Bowie, I dedicate you to the service of truth, compassion, and love. And with this water, the symbol of purity, and with, which color would you like, Bowie? There you go. Don't need it. And with this flower, a symbol of your unfolding life, upon your brow, lips, and hands, that your thoughts and speech and your deeds may be dedicated to the service of humanity.
Children of love, gift of life, we affirm your individuality, your worth, your dignity. We commend you the free and responsible search for truth, justice, compassion, and peace. We promise you our care and guidance, and we welcome you into our family.
May Charlie, Ellie, Bowie, Marion, and Robert May they serve with strength as their lives unfold. May the richness and wonder of life be abundantly yours. Congratulations to all of you. I think we can.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, thank you. Good job.
And now as advertised, a lot of community.
In a moment, we will begin to gather water into these bowls. We will invite you to come up in 4 different groups from the 4 directions: east, south, west, and north. It is for you to decide which of those directions you are coming from today. Ah, don't we love choice in Unitarian Universalism? You might decide you come from the direction in which you traveled away from this area this summer. East, perhaps, towards the Atlantic or beyond. South, toward the Caribbean or beyond. West, toward the Pacific or beyond. North, toward the Arctic or beyond.
You might decide you come from the direction where you actually arose this morning, the direction where your day-to-day home in our community lies. East toward the Quinnipiac River or beyond. South toward Long Island Sound or beyond. West toward the Mill River or beyond. North toward the Farmington River or beyond. You might even decide you come from the direction whose spirit comes closest to the kind of renewed power you're feeling today. From the east, if your feelings are awakening like the dawn, perhaps. From the south, if your feelings are languid as midday, perhaps. From the west, if your feelings are settling like the dusk, perhaps. From the north, if your feelings are cool as the night, perhaps. Listen to your spirit. It will find your direction.
But before we move at all, let us remind ourselves of the ancient Chinese teacher Lao Tzu and his wisdom from the Tao Te Ching. The Tao is like emptiness in a vessel, and in our employment of it, we must be our own guard against all fullness. How deep and unfathomable it is, as if it were the honored ancestor of all things. Our bowl before us begins in emptiness. No matter how full we fill in coming, let us begin by finding the emptiness within as well. And before we say and give words, let us, in a silence we will share together, make an open space within and among. Let us hold silence for 1 minute.
Our coming together from the four directions will be framed, as you just heard, by music from Wade in the Water. We'll hear a new variation each time we change directions. When we call the direction you have chosen, please move from your seat into a kind of river flow of people along the center aisles. If you've come as a family, we encourage you to all come up together. Stephen will be standing at the head of the line on this side over here. I will be standing on the line at the head of the line at this side over here to assist you.
Now to set our river in motion, I will bring our first drops into the bowls. This water is from the very earth right under our feet, our home of the Spirit, USNH. And now, if your water is from the east, I ask you to move to form your flow along the inside aisles. Please come forward.
Nice job. I think that was almost exactly 25% of you. And nice job ending at the last measure, too, that was really great. I forgot to mention before also that if you did not bring water with you today, you are still most welcome to come up as we call water from the south and the west and the north. There are bottles up here of water from previous water communions that you can come up and add to your bowls. My apology for not announcing that sooner. If today you have chosen to have your water be of the south, please rise and flow to the center aisles and come fill the bowls even further at this time.
Good job, everyone. I know what you're thinking right now. It's been a lovely service, but Stephen, we need more King James Bible. So you're going to get it. Thinking about this service all summer, the phrase kept coming to me and through me, but let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. I heard these words mostly from Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, or read it in his letter from the Birmingham jail. But he took it from the little book of Amos. And you're probably thinking, who, Amos? Listed as one of the minor prophets. Imagine having to go through life being a minor prophet. You're not even a major one. You didn't get Jeremiah, you didn't get Isaiah, you're just little Amos. Hard to find. One of the 12 prophetic books in the Hebrew Scriptures. But you know what? Amos is a powerfully important figure, and he should not be overlooked or forgotten because he spoke before the major prophets who have so defined not only the faith of the Hebrews, the Christians, and I would submit Unitarian Universalists, and we can hardly understand ourselves if we don't understand the prophetic tradition of speaking truth to power. Let justice rolling down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. It's more than a riff. It's more than a rhetorical, powerful cliche. And it's certainly more than a dream. It's an explicit instruction. It's an injunction on how you and I are supposed to live with each other. And it came to us 3,000 years ago from someone who is literally a layperson. Amos was not a part of the priestly tradition. He was a dresser of sycamore trees and a shepherd. And that's why he's considered minor, because he was just a person like you and like me. But for the first time in human history, 3,000 years ago, he spoke out against the powers that be. He spoke up for the oppressed, the poor. That shepherd, that dresser of sycamore trees, he discovered the distance between the rich and the poor, the disparity. And he spoke in God's tongue and said, "It's not what I want." And he did something else, again, for the very first time. He spoke out against religious pomposity. He said, "I hate your festivals, your feasts, your sacrifices." He speaks in God's terms, saying that all the things that we're told God really loves, God loves those burnt sacrifices. God loves long services of praise. God wants our music. He wants our self-regard. For many people through human history, justice has been about just us. And righteousness has been more often cloaked in self-righteousness. But not for the little Amos. He said something else. He said, I despise your feast days. And though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. But let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. He talked about economic justice. There's no other way to read these words. Sometimes we need a new translation. You use, and probably anybody could hear the words of the King James and think, in and out one ear and out the other. But there's a translation for evangelicals called The Message, and it's actually really good. So I'm going to impose a little bit on you here. This is what The Message defines as little Amos's words to us today. Because the odd thing about the prophetic voice is it may have been written 3,000 years ago, but if it's truly prophetic, it applies to today's headlines and certainly this economic and election season. This is what The Message says. I can't stand your religious meetings. I'm fed up with your conferences and conventions. I want nothing to do with your religious projects and your pretentious slogans. And I'm sick of your fundraising schemes, your public relations, and image making. I've had all I can take of your noisy ego. You know what I want? I want justice, oceans of it. I want fairness, rivers of it. That's what I want. That's all I want. I have always loved being a part of a faith that defines itself not on merely what it proclaims, but on what it does, on who it helps, how it speaks so that people can be free in who they love and who they wish to be within their skin, that takes seriously and with ultimacy the fragility and peril of this world, the only world we have. Because there's always more to do. There are things to work for. More love, more love. I am so glad to have a place to come to where we can hear the words, let justice roll out like water, and take them as marching orders for a world renewed, for personal freedoms upheld, for democracy, soul liberty, maintained and extended to all. That's the message. Like a mighty stream. Jesse, if you will come forward. We got west and north to do.
Like so many drops of rain, you have come here today to form a mighty stream. About half of you have already emptied the water you brought this morning into these two bowls, adding water from the east and south. What will become of this water? We will boil and sterilize it. And then we will use it in various rituals throughout this year, from child dedication services to memorial services. We might bless some of the plants in our memorial garden with some of it, and some of it will return again at the start of next congregational year. So at this time, we invite those who are offering water from the west to rise and flow toward the center, adding your water to our collective spirit.
And finally, those of you whose water arrives today from the north, please rise and flow. With your gifts of water, the chalice of our spirit will be filled, renewed, and ready to take on the year ahead. And now I invite you to join with me in our closing hymn, number 210, Wade in the Water, and please rise in body or spirit.
I invite forward Gwen to help extinguish our chalice. Please join with me the words in the order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. You may be seated. I have 3 minutes, and I have one joke. My parents were Kentuckians, so every night at 5 o'clock, they would have a bourbon with each other and reflect upon the day. And there's the old story, the evangelical minister getting up before his congregation and saying, "Brothers and sisters, I want you to gather all the whiskey in this town and take it down to the river. And all the bourbon, take it down to the river. All the beer, all the vodka, all the spirits, take it down there and consign it. And now we shall sing, Let Us Gather at the River. But that's how we've already sung that. So instead, as we share this time of benediction, as we have begun this new congregational year, go in peace, go in love, and most of all, let's go in singing. 162, gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, 162. Sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. I need war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. War no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. I need war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Gonna more